scrimmage going into the weekend, and it's a big to-do. It's a big time, right? I think for Florida State, as we get closer and closer, I get more and more excited every day. Here we are on the 20th already, and soon enough, it's funny because it's my enthusiasm and the giddiness I feel surrounding football in general is elevated by the fact you got two games tonight: Kansas City, Arizona, Cincinnati, and Washington. A full slate on Saturday, beginning mid-afternoon, going all the way late into the night with two 10 o'clock kickoffs as well. So if you want to get down with a little preseason action as a sporting guy or gal, I don't know if that's your cup of tea or not, each to his own, but Buffalo, Chicago, New York, Green Bay, Atlanta, Miami, Baltimore, Carolina, Detroit, Pittsburgh, Tennessee, and Tampa Bay, which have had a spirited practice this week, a scrimmage that ended up in a fight and some players having to be kicked out and told to not come back for the afternoon. Houston and Dallas, Indianapolis in Minnesota, Vegas in Los Angeles, Denver in Seattle, and then two games on Sunday. So here we go, man. It's happening. And I also think about Florida State's scrimmage that I was encouraged today, Mike Norvell saying, Tom, that they're going to play it like a game. They're going to play this scrimmage like a game. They are not going to put them in engineered situations. It's a game. Now, maybe some 2-minute stuff late just so they get the reps. But for the most part, they're going to play it like a game. And in a game, you don't know what to expect. You call a play, and then it's go now. You react to what just happened, and we got to go. So this is a good dry run for the coaches as much as it is for the players.
And it's not their last one, because the original practice schedule called for a scrimmage last week, which we know happened on Saturday, the scrimmage this weekend on Sunday, and then a mock game 2 Sundays from now. So it sounds like it's going to be 2 mock games in a row. The assessment that we can get, maybe the whispers around the program, whatever those things, we're going to be mining for that on Sunday going into Monday. And just a logistics thing. They have practice tomorrow. Will be open to the media. Sunday is closed down for the scrimmage. The availability is not until about 9:30 at night on Sunday. I think that's what they're doing. They're gearing up for the Notre Dame late kick on a Sunday evening. Get the schedule set for that. Off day on Monday next week. So if you're looking for updates, it's from today, tomorrow, and then all the way on Tuesday outside of scrimmage availability.
Well, they went full pads today, correct? You were there?
I was there.
Okay,
they
full
did,
pads
yes.
today and then a scrimmage Sunday. That means tomorrow is a lot of walkthrough. There's not going to be much to glean from tomorrow's practice.
I would agree.
Yeah. I mean, it can't be. And they were tired today because they were getting after it the day before and intense. So I have a hard time believing that tomorrow is going to be much of anything. Now, there's purpose, and you'll get something done. I'm just saying the frills and the excitement surrounding about big hits or big plays, not much coming from a Saturday before a scrimmage, I don't believe.
Yeah, I agree. And today it was a little bit quieter between the whistles. I talked to some of our friends at warchant.com, seeing as we have 94 people covering the Florida State program this year. I don't know if you know that, but we have 94 people covering Florida State athletics. And I was asking our myriad people, so yesterday was it like this? No, yesterday was really spirited. I think they're feeling it a little bit today. The dog days have kind of set in. But when the players were on the field and competing in the situations that they were competing in, outside of the 3 periods that we could talk about openly, they were getting after it. It was just between the drills, between the reps, I think they were all catching a breather.
Well, I think, honestly, a camp is an arduous thing. It's not like it's not hot in the state of Florida. And if you were in full pads yesterday, and they were, and it was spirited, intense, and physical, it's hard to sustain that. It's perfectly normal for those guys to back off the throttle a little bit, especially the in-between play stuff. You don't have the energy for it. Right now, I care much more about execution. I care about reps and execution and guys knowing where they're supposed to be and reacting and playing comfortably and understanding their roles, arriving at that place. They still got a lot of time. I mean, they're still vetting all of this, but the competition is taking place all the time. And we're going to hear some audio from Mike Norvell here in a second, but I do want to say, first of all, I see the comments are coming in fast and furious here right off the bat because obviously it's a Libations Friday. People are feeling good. I, too, am feeling good, but I will start with you, Jason. Jeff, I'm on the Gulf of Mexico. Need a happy birthday. Well, happy birthday, Jason. Happy birthday to you. I wish I, too, were hanging out on the Gulf of Mexico. The only thing is, how's the red tide? Been a tough year. Really tough year. Chad says just beat Notre Dame. And, if it were up to me, we would, Tom. Yeah, if I could control that, we would. That's what would happen. damn it. That's exactly what would happen. But alas. I want to read John's comment because it's going to segue nicely into the audio. Norvell knows where they stand, but he did not say exactly what the percentage is. He says he thinks they'll reach 85%. He is responding to a vaccination question. It matters, and we're going to talk about why it does. You saw the ACC made an announcement that if you have to, if you can't play a game due to players, not enough players due to COVID, you forfeit said game. That's a loss. You lose the game. That's what all the conferences are going to do, by the way, and more we're seeing this become a thing, and you got to get to that 85% threshold, and that's where they're efforting to get to. Now, we're not going to start in that order, or would you like to?
No, we can, but I want to add one thing. I have a friend over in Jacksonville who works in the business community of the greater Jacksonville area, and they may have heard a couple of whispers about the NFL's protocol on penalties for teams that can't compete because of COVID. This is what's been told to me secondhand. The NFL is saying behind closed doors, if your franchise can be found to have an unvaccinated player be the reason that you cannot compete, your franchise that is in the wrong must cut a check to the franchise that you're playing for the cost of a game.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's not surprising now. You're starting to see both in college and pro.
Right.
They're all reaching the threshold. The players are going and getting vaccinated, rightfully so. And the Falcons just announced that all their players are. The Miami Hurricanes have announced the 85% threshold. You're seeing this.
So, for example, let's just say Jacksonville is on the road playing in Atlanta, right? Mm-hmm. And it's going to be a sellout because most NFL games are, or whatever the capacity would be. A Jacksonville player is unvaccinated, and he's the reason that Jacksonville cannot participate in the game. If the NFL can find out that's the reason, the Jags have to cut a check to the Falcons for the gate. That is, plus the concessions and...
you want to bet that ownership has a conversation with its coaches and players?
I think it would. Yeah. I think it's already happened.
Well, the money. We're getting back to the source of everything. The money.
Indeed.
Yeah, so there you go. I don't want to start there, though. I don't want to get burdened by that. I do. It's a great question, and it's a pertinent question, and it's something we're going to have to answer, so I'm glad he was asked the question, and he answered the question, and actually answered the question in a way that, kudos. Good job. Good answer. So first, let's hear about workloads, because a lot of questions yesterday and today and dating back really to Wednesday about who's practicing, who's not practicing, and why aren't they practicing and all that stuff. And we're under certain guidelines where we can't talk in great detail about the hows and whys of what we see, especially when it pertains to player participation and or quote unquote anything to do with injuries, or in this case, really frankly, who's running with the ones and the twos and stuff like that. We're not really permitted to talk about that. And I get that. I understand that. I've speculated some and called it speculation and announced that I was speculating that because I didn't want to run against the grain there of what they asked us. But, he's going to get asked about it a lot, because what ends up happening is you understand coming into fall practice that you have a player with an injury history, really two of them competing for the job of quarterback. So it's very normal for people to ask questions about their relative health. Mackenzie Milton had a devastating, catastrophic injury to his leg along the lines of Alex Smith. It bordered on potentially life-threatening. When you have an injury like that and you rehab and fight like hell to come back, not only is it a great story, an amazing story, and one that's gotten and received rightfully national attention, but it's also one that draws a lot of focus from that point forward, because now they want to see, can you complete the comeback? Can you come all the way back to lead a team and do, especially because he was a really good player. So he's a high profile guy. But it again, when you're doing that, the lingering effects of that injury, those kinds of injuries in general, any kind of devastating injury. I still have problems with my foot today. Nothing like what happened with Mackenzie Milton and his leg. I'm not trying to equate that, but I had to basically have major surgery on my foot, and I still feel that today. So that never goes away.
Well, and then you're always afraid about compensation injuries. I can just talk about,
some of my everybody knows, right? Yeah.
Favorite hockey players, though, like some of them have core injuries, and the next thing you know, they have a related injury. It doesn't seem like it would be, like a hip and a knee or whatever, but everything is connected. And if you're trying to work out different muscles to compensate and stabilize that shouldn't be used for those purposes, you can have another issue that's related to the original issue.
Well,
yes, you got to be really alert on all those things.
And so that's why I like this dancing base or speculation that is fair or unfair, is to say, look, it's no secret. It's not like we're hiding the fact that Mackenzie Milton had a major injury that he's rehabbing from and fighting his way back. We're gonna manage that. What's important is that he play in the games, that he play on Saturdays. So if he needs to take, and I'm just talking out loud here, if he needs to take 2 days off or 3 days off or practice for 2 days and take a day off in between, then so be it. I mean, you got to get him ready for the game. So that's more of a straightforward explanation that I think works for everybody and is common sense. Here he is, though, talking about workload. I thought this was fascinating about the updates that he gets every day. The coaches meet together for every single player.
I mean, I get very specific data on workloads of what guys are doing, every position, from kickers to quarterbacks to number of throws to all that we're doing throughout practice. And so as you look at workloads coupled with, guys' history and, if they're coming off an injury, if they have something that's ailing them, we want to be smart to make sure that they get the work that they need, but also, not put them at risk for something that's going to extend for a longer period of time. And so, Coach Storms, Josh Chapman, our whole crew, Scott Trulick, we meet daily on every player's workload, exactly where they are. And then we try to map out the best plan for what they need so that we're going to be ready to go come September 5th.
Is it tough to stick to that when you see Mackenzie have a good day yesterday? I don't know if you really want to see him back out there again, back to back.
Well, we get plenty of opportunities to see guys have back-to-back days and continue to go out there and work at a high level. And so, you build upon what you do the day prior, and that's what we're going to continue to do.
I'll say this in response to the idea: is it tough to do that because a player has a good day the day before and then maybe misses the next day, and is that frustrating, or does that's kind of the spirit of that question, right? Not if you know it going in. Not if you know going in, this is what we have to do to make sure he's ready to play when the games start and they're for real. They knew this in the spring. They were dealing with this in the spring. It's not new. And so if you know going into a camp that you got a guy that is working towards obviously being ready to play once the season officially begins, and during that process, it means that there are going to be good days and bad days. There are going to be weeks where he feels really good and get out there and get after it, and other times maybe not so much. Maybe some weeks are tougher than others. It's easier if you already know going in that that's something you're going to have to contend with, because that was part of the process when you asked him to come play for you. It's not like you didn't know about his injury history, or you didn't know that he was going to be trying to work through some things on his way back to starting games on Saturdays. So, that you had to be ready to do that and to talk to your doctors and talk to your workout people and say, your physio guys, like, what do we do with this?
Yeah, that's where I'd say, maybe at the beginning of camp, you could let it be known that, hey, Mackenzie's on a bit of a different schedule because we know what he can do in games. So let's get him to the games. It's not an unknown. The upper level of what Mackenzie Milton is capable of has been seen by the country time and time again. So we want to make sure we put him in the best position to be ready for the games. That's what he said today. Could have put to bed maybe some of the whispers early in the week had it happened a little bit earlier in the week, but I can attest to what he talks about with Coach Storms and the training staff. I was between the 30s and the IPF for a portion of practice today. They have a table set up with an assistant of Josh Storms, has a laptop open, taking copious notes, and Storms comes back and forth to that particular table, relaying information about what they want to do, how they want to ramp up certain workouts for certain people, ramp them down. I'm sure they do other things, but for the 15, 20 minutes I was standing around there, they are constantly communicating real-time feedback during practice. Coach Storms is monitoring how guys have reacted to their workouts and whether or not they might need to dial it back on certain days.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's they've come so far. There was no such thing as workloads when I played, and really many of you, if you're over the age of, 25. I mean, this didn't really exist. You got your ass to practice. You did what they told you to do, no matter how tired you were or what you were going to do, and everybody could benefit from it. It's when you think about exercise science and the tools at your disposal and the way that you can optimize people's workouts on a daily. I'm talking about just regular people going to work out and doing all these things. It is pretty cool. It's amazing. It's what they do at Orange Theory Fitness, Tom Lang.
Segue galore.
How many days in a row am I going to, exemplify excellence and segue talent.
There was no way that a Libations Friday from 3 to 6 was going to be that smooth with a segue. But now that Libations Fridays occur a little bit earlier in the day, we still have time for the happy hour post show. In fact, we can arrive before happy hour begins.
We could.
Post show. I think your segue game on Fridays is going to be much stronger for that reason.
Unreal is what that was. Unreal. Orange Theory Fitness, where you save a ton of money and get your ass in shape. That's not an official logo or their catchphrase, but it should be. It should be. Right now, it is the summer of more life. You get the first month free with a purchase of a heart rate monitor, August through September 30th. Go on and save you some money, everybody. Refer a friend and or upgrade, and you will get discounted membership prices for the next 3 months after that. You're saving a ton of money, and if you're an active member and you get back after it, and, a non-active member, I should say, and you get back after it, so you're a premier member, you'll receive $50 off of 3 months as well. So that's what you want to do, orangetheoryfitness.com. We'll come back. We'll hear some more from head coach Mike Norvell. Had some interesting comments today about the freshman contributors. I'm really interested in this because I think it lends context to something we've been talking about for a week, or I've been talking about for 2 weeks. And then Chubba Purdy is mentioned here a little bit in terms of reps. And then also people have been asking on the chat, and understandably so, as you read the news around the country regarding that 85% threshold, which allows you to avoid some of the COVID protocol in terms of the testing that will take place. And whether or not you have enough guys eligible to play football, which we all want to see. So he was asked a question about it, and he answered that straightforward, which I appreciate. Chef Cameron Show, 93.3 Real Talk Radio and Warchant TV.
Where is the best place to find Michelin, Firestone, Dunlop, Goodyear, and Bridgestone tires? Nice Tire and Auto Service. Where's the best full-service auto center? Nice Tire and Auto Service. They do everything from computerized alignments to brakes, tune-ups, and safety inspections. Where can you get complete auto service you can trust? That's easy. Nice Tire and Auto Service. 4792 Bluntstown Highway, just west of Capitol Circle.
People trust Sellers for better tile, carpet, and hardwood flooring. Sellers Flooring Advisor Ryan Fitzgerald.
We understand most people don't come in with great knowledge of what they're looking for or what they need. So at Sellers, what we try to do is use our expertise to guide you through the process.
Get Sellers working for you.
We make it easy, and we have the experts on staff to get you where you need to be, and we give you the options.
On Capitol Circle Northeast, just north of Mahan Drive. Call 656-8453. Online at sellerstile.com.
Clean, renewable energy means fresher air, healthier residents, new green jobs, and a stronger, more resilient community. How we get there is up to you. Share your input today to help shape the Tallahassee of tomorrow. Take the Clean Energy Survey at talgov.com.
Applications, onboarding, payroll, termination. Business owners and managers, these are the processes that take away too much time from what you do best. But what if there was a locally owned, responsive solution that would charge you a fraction of the big national payroll companies? Sound too good to be true? It's not. North Florida Payroll Services is Tallahassee owned for nearly 15 years. And in that time, their prices have never changed. The reason North Florida Payroll Services can do that? Exceptional customer service that constantly evolves with the latest technology. From application to termination, for turnkey service for your payroll and HR services, trust a Tallahassee expert and save yourself time and money. North Florida Payroll Services. Online at northfloridapayroll.com.
When the forgotten poor are in need of healing, they wait for a ship unlike any other. Mercy Ships, a floating hospital staffed by volunteers, heroes of mercy who donate their time to save lives.
Every human has the right to have a place at the table of the human race.
If you could just see the smiles that you get when lives have been changed, then it would make it all worth it.
To learn more about Heroes of Mercy, go to mercyships.org.
You went online to switch your car insurance to Progressive so you could save money. But then you saw a friend request from an old summer camp buddy. And now here you are, clicking through photos of his kickball team from 2011. Looks like they won the championship that year. Then he moved to Tulsa. Oh, a new tattoo. Yes, they said it was easy to save hundreds on car insurance with Progressive, but they forgot about the rest of the internet. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. National average savings by new customer surveyed who saved in 2019.
Football season is back, and that means it's time for the 72nd annual Tallahassee Quarterback Club Kickoff Dinner, featuring Florida State football head coach Mike Norvell. It all starts this Tuesday, August 24th at the University Center Club at Doak Campbell Stadium. Doors open at 5:30 p.m., and guests will enjoy live entertainment, great fellowship, an incredible dinner, and a chance to win tickets to the Champions Club for FSU's home opener versus Notre Dame. Tickets are limited, so buy yours now at TallahasseeQBClub.com.
We all want more energy, more strength, more results. Well, welcome to Orange Theory Fitness as you take a step towards feeling more alive today. Backed by science, Orange Theory's heart rate monitored workout is scientifically designed to keep heart rates in a target zone, spiking metabolism and increasing energy. Orange Theory Fitness is a one-of-a-kind group personal training workout resulting in more energy, visible toning, and extra calorie burn for up to 36 hours. Experience a more vibrant life today with Orange Theory Fitness. To find out more, go to orangetheoryfitness.com.
The Jammin' Show brought to you by Orange Theory Fitness. 2 Tallahassee locations, Midtown on Thomasville Road and Northside in the Village Common Shopping Center. Online at orangetheoryfitness.com.
Let's go through here and get to some comments. William, actually, and I want to get back to the audio as well, but there's a string of comments from William here that are interesting, and I appreciate him adding this to the discussion. He says he learned in his rehabilitation class that injuries, especially ligamentous injuries, are related to the sensory receptors, and those injuries can overload the brain.
It's a word I use a lot. How was your dinner? Ligamentous?
Ligamentous, as always.
Fantastic.
Overloading the brain with the sensors can take away space needed for the brain to process stimuli outside the area that was injured. So being under attack in a game can further lead to injury. And then finally, he wrote that I should have also added, will lead to further injury if the person is not able to adjust prior to the game with similar stimuli needed to adjust appropriately. So this gets back to the pertinent part of the conversation when one is rehabbing and preparing themselves to enter into a playing environment, a high-intensity environment.
And now from the 3,000 level class back to the radio program.
Working your way back onto the football field in a game scenario, you have to put yourself through the paces, for lack of a better term, to see how your brain responds to that stimuli, and you adjust to that before we're full guns blazing, before we go out there and it's go time. So, again, we're getting back to the load management aspect of the conversation with Mackenzie Milton and having some practices where he participates, plays well, doesn't play well, doesn't really matter. He's going through those reps, whatever it might be, then maybe a day off. And, when that's going to be, I don't know, but they're monitoring that closely as they have to, obviously.
Well, and you could apply it to 2016 Dalvin, and I'm not talking about the hamstring. Remember the shoulder injury that he was coming off of, and how he wore the extra flak jacket in spring camp, and he wasn't, fall camp, but he wasn't always there, and there was much to do about what is he capable of. A lot of questions coming out of the Louisville blowout on the road, and then by the time we were done with the South Florida game, where we blew out USF down in Tampa, the answer from Jimbo was, it's just pain tolerance. He's got to be able to trust it. It's not going to feel great, but you've just got to kind of let it go and be fearless.
Those are the tough ones.
Dalvin turned the corner in that regard, but yeah.
Pain tolerance is tough too, because when your natural reaction when you feel pain, when your body is letting you know that it hurts, it's usually thought of and felt as a warning. This is painful. I need to back off the throttle. I don't need to push through this. It's trying to tell me you got problems, man. It's usually inflammation of some sort, but that's frustrating, right? But you do reach a place eventually where it could be scar tissue, could be whatever it is. You have to work through that.
Push through it.
You're not in risk to further injure yourself, although in your mind you're thinking, man.
Right. And to William's point, you don't want to nurse it, because if you nurse it, then you're going to hurt something else.
Let's get to Chubba Reps. This is interesting. He's asked a question about the other quarterbacks getting opportunities because of the managing of workload.
Yeah, I think it's been good for for all our guys. And I mean, it's not you look at all positions. We came into it this week. You look at week one. it was something that we wanted to see McKenzie and Jordan really get the bulk of the reps. And you look back at the scrimmage and throughout the first week, and they were pushing probably 80% of it as we were rolling. So, Chubba and Tate, had spare opportunities. But as we gone into the second week, we really wanted to up that look. It's I think it's been good. It's been an opportunity with McKenzie and Jordan to allow them to deload at different times and kind of go through their process and preparing for September 5th. And, I'm excited about the steps that I've seen. I'm so excited about the opportunities and the situations that Chubba has been put in, because once again, he went basically the last year without a whole lot of practice. And, this has been really good for him. He's making strides. He's having some very positive moments and then some moments to learn from, but he's approaching practice the right way. And, I like the growth that I'm seeing.
Critical to mention that he's approaching practice the right way. He's getting reps. He's having good days, bad days, good moments, bad moments. That's normal. That's somebody working their way through and getting back to playing football at a really difficult position. And so the ups and downs are going to be there. I'm just happy to hear that Chubba Purdy is a part of this thing and bought in and working hard and approaching practice the right way. Because if you think back to how eerily quiet it was where Chubba Purdy went home to kind of deal with his rehab and all of that, one would begin to wonder, is he going to be part long-term of this program? It's a natural thing to wonder when somebody's not around. And he was asked about this already, and he answered it. He had to basically get his head right, and he wanted to be around family and close-knit group that support him in order to do that. But it's a tough thing. It takes a hell of a lot of maturity to leave frustrated as he must have been, as anybody would be when you have an injury, then you have surgery, then there's a setback, and you're almost like starting over. You would be frustrated because you're not doing what you came here to do at that point. You're just dealing with rehabs and setbacks, and you're not playing football, and it's got to be so infuriating. And a lot of times guys decide, I want a clean slate. I'm going to start somewhere else. So for him to get right and to come back and to compete as deep as this quarterback room is in terms of where he would be on the depth chart, returning is a good sign about where his mind space is.
Yeah, I would totally agree. The first day of practice this fall, he was available at the very end of the day when they ran the two practices, and extra 2 or 3 minutes at the end. Most of the cameras had shut off, but I continued to ask Chubba questions about the rehab and the nature of it. And he was, really open about it, talking about how mentally he was in a very dark place. It wasn't necessarily about Florida State. It was just the rehab and the process of being hurt. He said, I realize now how important mental health is in the whole process of rehabilitation. It's not just a physical rehabilitation, but it's a mental rehabilitation. And then I asked him, how often were you rehabbing? He said, every day, at least a couple hours a day. And then I would go on the field, and my dad would make sure that everything was in line in terms of my fitness. He said there was no holding back. Wasn't like I went home to do nothing.
Right.
But he was very open about the fact that, mentally speaking, he was in a dark place, but he feels a hell of a lot better now.
Freshman contributors, and I think this ends up kind of, in my mind, it illuminates a lot of what we've been talking about, what this season is going to be and what they're looking at in terms of the rebuild long-term. And also, it's a sign to me that they really nailed this class and they're excited about that group that did commit, that did come in here. And we know what they've got coming in, at least on paper, at least verbally, is also exciting. So that's a good trend. That's moving in the right direction. Here he is talking about these freshmen.
Absolutely. I think it's a really good group. It is for the ability that these guys have. There's going to be a good number. I'd probably say 5 or 6 that are going to have an opportunity to impact this team this year. And then even the guys that don't, as they continue to grow and develop, it's a really good group, hardworking group. Obviously as we get closer to the game, game one, we'll see where that's at. The new rule that happened a couple of years ago with those guys being allowed to play in 4 games, that gives us a lot of flexibility as the season progresses, and so we'll see how that all plays out. But no doubt, I think we hit with this freshman group, and they were responding in the moment.
That is a really good sign. Long term, where you're building this thing and where you want to get to is going to be really reliant not on transfers, grad transfers of any kind. Yes, you can use them. Transfer portal can be useful. We've seen that, obviously. It did wonders for Miami at the quarterback position. We know it works in some cases, but it's not how you want to build your team. That's not the way you build a team that's together, that builds and grows and becomes closer and closer and closer. You don't do that with one-year guys, 1 year, one-offs or anything like that. It can, again, be a helpful tool and it is useful, but you want to build through these recruiting classes. Just like in the NFL, you don't build through free agency. You build through the draft. And you get guys to come in and buy in, work together, and they go through the ranks. They start out, maybe they have a tough year because obviously if you're drafted high, you're there for a reason. Usually it's that the team was bad. And so you get better together, and there's a real camaraderie that's built in that sense. And so that's how you build a team. You don't do it through transfers, but again, it is a useful tool. I like him talking about these freshmen and how many of them are ready to contribute right off the bat. They've got to find a way to push through some of the aches and pains of camp, and physically it can be tough, especially on a freshman. I think a lot of these young receivers are going through that right now. They're going to need Malik McClain. He is a pretty polished kid. He's a big, strong kid. I think long-term he is a real answer for them at wide receiver. He's going to have to be a big answer for them this year in that receiving core, but it's hard for a freshman to have a huge impact at that position. So I'll be curious to see. When he talks about needing those guys to step up, it lets you know at home, and I don't want to put words in his mouth, but I think it's a fair thing to take away from those comments. It lets you know just how desperately sad the situation was that he walked into. I mean, it's at a place like Florida State, typically when you're operating at peak efficiency, as I like to say, freshmen aren't rolling in here and playing a huge role. And it's the select cases where you have freaks. Like a Travis Hunter, any era, any year would be a guy that could come in and likely impact your team. But that's for the few and the very unique and the very gifted and the very special. When a lot of freshmen, say 4 or 5, are going to get significant playing time, and even more as the season goes along and you prepare some of those other young guys, because remember the rule that they implemented a couple years back where you can play in 4 games and still have your red shirt. So some of these guys aren't ready week 1, game 1, or week 2, game 2 or 3. They might be ready by the last 4 weeks of the season, and you want to get a look at them, and they've matured and they've gotten acclimated to their new surroundings, and they've learned how to handle the physical and the emotional and the mental, right? And they're going to school and all of that, and they've got their relationships. And now maybe we throw them into the fire and see what they can do and get them a little bit of experience while still retaining that red shirt. So that tells me they're going to have upwards of, maybe 5 to 7 guys that are freshmen that are going to need to play a role for this team to be successful. Well, good. A, you recruited some talented kids, but B, the roster's pretty desperate. That situation's pretty desperate if you're having to play that many young guys, in my mind. Let's get to some of these because I have more. That is what you do. I have more, obviously, comments here and Norvell clips to go through. Chad, thank you so much, buddy. Sunset Shrimp Tacos on him. I'll take it. Well done. Gordon, I'm waiting for that woo, baby. Woo! What do you think about the rumored alliance between the ACC, Big Ten, and Pac-12? I like it from a scheduling standpoint. That's how you do it. You align yourself, you isolate, you regionalize the SEC, you gather yourselves together, and you rotate a schedule that you can then sell to the networks and make a lot of money, and everybody's doing well. I think it's a good idea. It's the best way to align yourself and protect yourself from there. Eric, woo! Thank God it's Friday, Jeff and Tom. Hopefully scrimmage number 2 goes well this weekend. Drinks on me. I'm going to hit the golf course. Have a nice weekend. Eric, enjoy. Swing the sticks, baby. Woo! Have fun with that. I wish I were joining you on the course, although it is 105 degrees.
It did change by about 10:40 this morning. It went from okay to good Christmas. We need to go. We need to get indoors. Even the players at the end of practice, they finished practice at the IPF today, but I think I'm allowed to say that even though it's not in the first 3 periods. But when they were walking out, a lot of the guys were happy because it was smoothie day. They had the smoothies ready to go. But
it's the simple pleasures, everybody.
When you have a football player telling you it's hot outside, because they deal with all kinds of heat in camp. It is particularly hot today.
It's smoothie day. How fitting is it that it's smoothie day on a Libations Friday? You're damn right. Any updates on DLT playing full go? Nathaniel Hornblower, you Beasties fan, you. I would say, yes, he is coming along nicely.
They commented on that openly yesterday.
That's right. He's expected to be ready to go by the time we play Notre Dame, and that is a needed shot in the arm. Speaking of which, that would have been another nice segue. I'm going to move it forward. We'll come back, and I'll talk about that in a moment. I am on fire, guys. You are so welcome. It's the Jeff Cameron Show, 93.3 Real Talk Radio.
Your local news now.
The Red Cross is helping several Tallahassee families displaced by a multi-unit apartment fire Thursday morning. It happened on Kissimmee Street, just blocks away from FAMU. 4 apartments were destroyed, and now 12 people, including several children, have to find a new place to live. One person was airlifted to Shands Hospital in Gainesville for treatment. The Red Cross is providing financial assistance to help the families buy food, clothes, and other items lost in the fire. Chief Financial Officer and State Fire Marshal Jimmy Petronis assessed damage at the complex Thursday afternoon. Governor Ron DeSantis said that COVID boosters will likely be widely available across the state if they get final approval. DeSantis also said that he expected those that want one would be able to get them at sites already offering the shots. His comments follow the federal government's recommendation that Pfizer and Moderna recipients get boosters 8 months after their second dose. This is Rachel Lene with your Real Talk 93.3 local news update, brought to you by Macklemore Systems, Tallahassee's go-to Mac store. Check them out online at macklemoresystems.com.
This is meteorologist Paul Trombley with your Real Talk 93.3 weather update. Sunshine mixed with clouds at times this afternoon with a chance for isolated storms. Highs level off around 94. Winds out of the west, 5 to 10 miles per hour. Chance for scattered storms again tonight. Lows dip down to about 75. Partly cloudy skies. Scattered thunderstorms likely tomorrow. Highs level off around 90. A blend of clouds and sun. This report is brought to you by the Lawn Johns. For all your landscaping and lawn care needs, visit thelawnjohns.com. Right now, 92.
The best happy hour in Tallahassee just got happier. Wednesdays at Wahoo Seafood Grill, enjoy half-off appetizers from 3 to 7 p.m. Calamari, boom boom shrimp, gator tails, mudbug fries, and more. All half price from 3 to 7 p.m. every Wednesday. And if you're looking for a fresh lunch to break up the day, Wahoo serves up fresh fish tacos, sandwiches, and po' boys all week long for under $10. Visit Wahoo Seafood Grill today on North Monroe Street. Check out the full menu and order online at wahooseafoodgrill.com.
We all want more energy, more strength, more results. Well, welcome to Orange Theory Fitness as you take a step towards feeling more alive today. Backed by science, Orange Theory's heart rate monitored workout is scientifically designed to keep heart rates in a target zone, spiking metabolism and increasing energy. Orange Theory Fitness is a one-of-a-kind group personal training workout resulting in more energy, visible toning, and extra calorie burn for up to 36 hours. Experience a more vibrant life today with Orange Theory Fitness. To find out more, go to orangetheoryfitness.com.
Greg Tish.
Good morning, Bert. Thank you so much for joining us, my friend.
It's been, I think, 22 years, 24 years. I've been dying to come back. And I said to myself, I'm not going back to Tallahassee until I have a show there. I'm not going to go back and just party. I'll feel like a loser, you know? It's a world to me to come back to that city and be doing, especially the place I'm doing, you know?
Yeah, because the last time you were in the Civic Center, people didn't hear your name. This time, we're all going to hear your name, and we are very, very proud of you.
Bro.
The Greg Tish Show, Monday through Friday, 6 to 9 a.m., only on Real Talk 93.3. The Jeff Cash Show is a production of the Warchant.com Multimedia Network. Check out Warchant.com today for the latest news inside Florida State athletics. That's Warchant.com. Now, back to Jeff on Real Talk 93.3.
.5% threshold for vaccines, thus able to avoid regular COVID-19 testing and the team having to worry about forfeiting games. Wisconsin has announced the same. They are over 85%. A lot of teams now making that announcement. You see in the NFL, late July, early August, I think they had at that time 28 teams. 28 teams had gone above 88%. In the NFL, now you have almost all at 88% or above. That's probably next week you'll get 100% there. And we know that in order to avoid triggering those tests, that the 85% threshold is necessary to get to, and it will be a sigh of relief when that happens. So he was asked about it, Mike Norvell was today, and let's hear the audio from Coach Norvell responding to that question.
I do know where we are with the vaccination rate, and we're getting closer to that point. We've had a lot of guys that have made decisions to put themselves in the best opportunity, and when it comes to that, so I feel good about where we are and where we'll be, especially heading into the first game.
Is it crucial to hit that 85% mark, or is it being?
I mean, it's at the end of the day. I mean, it's you look across the country. I mean, there is, it's a volatile time in dealing with COVID and with the variants and all those things. And so we want to just make sure our guys are as safe as possible and put them in the best position to be able to go out there and play this game that they love. Whether it's a positive test, whether it's contact tracing, any of those things, guys are going to miss time and opportunities, which is a challenge. And so we definitely are looking forward to hitting that mark, and I feel very confident that as we progress, I mean, we're going to be able to do so.
Very confident that as they progress here, they'll be able to get to that threshold before the Notre Dame game. That's an important audio clip for you to hear, an important answer from Mike Norvell. It's funny. I was just reading as I was going through. I was trying to find team by team where we were in the ACC after the announcement yesterday by the ACC that if teams don't meet that threshold and they have to opt out of a game because of it for any reason, then that it's a forfeit. So I thought, well, it's pretty important. You want to play your football games, and financially speaking, they have to play their football games. So it's not surprising to hear that the athletic director spoke to the team on this note, because we're broke. But I wanted to go through and look at all the teams across the country and see where we were at. And it's really encouraging to see in most of the conferences what you're reading. And I even read where Nick Rolovich, the coach there at Washington State, who made news a few weeks back for saying that he wasn't going to be vaccinated, said that under the new state mandate requiring COVID-19 vaccinations for those working at the state's colleges and universities, that he would comply and be vaccinated today and would get it right on it, and that all of his staff would too. So that's happening across the country.
This is just a kind of a behind the curtain moment. After practice was over and Mike Norvell was speaking to the media, I was going to put up any major updates on the warchant.com Twitter feed at Warchant.
Yeah.
And Ira and I looked at each other when he offered this answer to this question about, all right, so how do you update this? Because this is something that belongs out there immediately.
Yeah, sure.
Mike Norvell's comment on it. And so I authored it, and I said, Mike Norvell says he feels confident where FSU football is and where they will be relative to the 85% COVID vaccination threshold by September 5th. And in writing that, I thought, oh my goodness, he may have kind of put himself on a deadline. There's an expectation now by the Notre Dame game through those comments that they're going to hit it. That's really good news if, in fact, they can deliver on that news. That's one of the headlines of the day, if not the headline of the day, considering the whispers that we heard just weeks ago in Charlotte at the ACC kickoff about where those numbers might be.
Mm-hmm.
That's a massive development for the reliability of having a game on a Saturday, week to week.
Well, listen, you don't have to speculate at all to say that it was a concern of theirs. That's why you bring in Myron Roll. That's why Leonard Hamilton talks to the team. That's why the athletic director talks to the team, David Coburn. That's why, you didn't do that for your health, but maybe you did for your health. Yes, indeed, do that. But obviously, you know what I mean? That they felt concerned enough about it to attack it and get after it, and it's working. That's good news. Brian writes, why is nobody talking about giving any updates on Andrew Parchment? That's from Brian. Thank you very much. We've given updates on Parchment and what we've been able to see from him when he's out there practicing. And he's a speed guy. They brought him in as a speed guy. He's a guy that I think more than anything else has to be reliable at stretching the field. It opens up all the underneath stuff. We'll see. I can't. I will tell you of the practices I've attended, and you were at today's practice. He's not a dynamic, game-changing, going to alter the segment group receiver, but is he valuable and is he needed? And was it potentially a good move to bring him in? Yes. If he plays in the games and stretches the field, then it was a good idea to bring him in.
I'll reiterate what I said too first. When we went up to Charlotte as a staff for Warchant to cover the event, both quarterbacks mentioned Andrew Parchment and they said speed. And that was a misconception on my part. I thought he was going to be more of a red zone guy and not somebody who could stretch the field. And when both quarterbacks tell you through PRPs that that's what they see is speed. Then I went out to practice and wanted to see him with my own eyes, and that he looks like a speed receiver more than he does a prototypical possession receiver.
Well, he's rail thin, and a lot of those,
I was saying it kindly.
Yeah, one of those speed guys. Usually, you don't look at rail thin guys typically as over the middle possession receivers. You look at guys that they want to run free, run to the high country town.
That's the land of the Camerons.
Yeah, that's right. So yeah, there's that. Brian asks about Cushney. He's going to be an interesting guy to watch because he doesn't physically fit the role.
He'd have to be a really good college football player in order to be a game breaker for us, right? Like he's not a body type that you would say is made for Sundays.
He's got no chance to play in the NFL. Cushney, that is. Yeah, no chance. But
you'd have to be one of those try extra guys.
Well, yeah. And I'm not saying he can't play, and I'm not saying he can't add some value. He's a weird looking cat to be where he is on the football field. Guys don't typically look like that play that position. He's short for an end. Now he's got long arms for his height, but there's nothing extraordinary about him. There's nothing that you look at and you think, oh, he's going to light it up come Saturdays. But he may be able to play a role.
I think he might be able to, especially as, the season wears on. We got to remember that he didn't work with the team in the summer. I mean, Adam Fuller said he just got on campus when we talked to them at the luncheon 2 weeks ago today. So I think he's still getting up to speed there. To count on him now in the first month of the season would be to ask too much, in my opinion. We'll see. But I will say that segment group, Keir Thomas continues to perform and continues to stand out. That's good news, man. I saw it today. 4 was noticeable.
Exciting news. We got to go to break, but as we do, I just want you to know, if you're not watching on the YouTube feed, which I understand, you may be driving down the road listening to the good old-fashioned and kick-ass radio, 93.3 Real Talk Radio. You're missing out on the Jeff Cameron Show logo at the bottom of the screen for Gordo's, and it is simply spectacular. I want that shirt of Eddie's face as a chef next to the Jeff Cameron Show logo. That is fantastic. Bravo, team. You guys kick ass. It's the Jeff Cameron Show.
Let me tell you what T-Spark stands for. It stands for strength, commitment, teamwork, and heart. We don't ever quit until we've got nothing left to give. Our team is unstoppable. Want a guaranteed win? Call T-Spark Enterprises for your next roofing or construction project. We conquer all peaks. TSparkConstruction.com. License number CCC 1331204.
Hey guys, it's Greg Tish. It's summertime, it's grilling time. But with a grill that just won't light, you're just going to end up with the summertime blues. Yeah, blues and barbecue go hand in hand, but if you get a custom outdoor kitchen built from Hearth and Patio, you'll feel like a rock star every time those flames kick on. They also sell a full line of incredible high-end grills like Fire Magic, Blaze, and Broil Master, all designed to deliver the ultimate in beauty, performance, and durability. Everything you need to elevate your grilling experience can be found at Hearth and Patio. In fact, anything related to fire can be found at Hearth and Patio. Fire pits, gas lighting, indoor and outdoor fireplaces, wood stoves, and even custom-built pizza ovens. Go see for yourself. Check out their services and products online at hearthpatiotallahassee.com. That's hearthpatiotallahassee.com, or give them a call, 850-727-4282. That's 850-727-4282. At Hearth and Patio, they keep the home fires burning.
I call Swain Pools and Spas. Now I'm soaking up the fun when I want to.
Swain Pools and Spas is your pool and spa everything store. Swain sells them, Swain repairs them, Swain renovates them, Swain services them. Swain even has pool and spa supplies. And they'll test your water, too. Look for the big Swain sign on Tharp Street. Call them at 386-7113 or online at SwainPools.com.
Swain Pools and Spas.
When you're looking to get anything done, chances are you've got a guy for that. And when it comes to your car truck repairs, the team at Tallahassee Car Care are your guys. The kind of guys that have motor oil running through their veins. The kind of guys that prefer grease remover over frou-frou flowery scented soaps. And these guys will tell you the truth with no fluff. When your car truck needs any kind of repairs, look for Tallahassee Car Care on West Tharp Street, right behind Swain Pools and Spas. Tallahassee Car Care.
If you weren't the owner of Gordo's and all those wonderful restaurants, Eddie, what would you be doing?
You know, I think I'd want to be I don't know what I'd want to be, a boat captain or a cowboy.
Do you know how to use a lasso?
No.
You'd have to do that if you were a cowboy.
Yeah, but I've never even been on a horse. It's not my place to be on a horse.
I agree. And the horse thanks you. Gordo's, bringing the flavor and flair of Cuban food to Tallahassee since 1996.
The Jeff Cameron Show, brought to you by Orange Theory Fitness. 2 Tallahassee locations, Midtown on Thomasville Road and Northside in the Village Common Shopping Center. Online at orangetheoryfitness.com.
and this may surprise you, Tom Wang. You know, I dole out some nuggets every now and then. A very young Luther Vandross sings on that song.
Is that right?
Boom! I'm here for you, baby.
Nice.
I'm here for you.
Was that on the documentary when they have the footage of him? Recording that
back
album
when he's like $180.
Yeah, and the backup singers were like, "What is this dude doing trying this genre of music?"
And kicking ass.
And they were converted.
Well,
as we all
halfway
have
through
been.
the song, they turn and look at him like, "My man, you got a little of that in you, do you?" Okay. If you had New England last night, 35-0 over the Eagles, that was easy money at the gate, baby. Any team, rule of thumb, any team that has a quarterback battle, bet on them. They're going to play serious longer. End of story. Uncle Jeff's here for you. Quarterback battles, easy money. You take the ones that are betting and competing, right? That's the whole deal. They got to find out who they're starting on Sundays. They don't have time for your nonsense. Go ahead, put your third string in. I'm going to leave Mac out there throwing the ball around. I'm going to let Cam get through this whole quarter because I need to see, is he my guy? So next thing you know, you got 2.5 quarters of real football being played with quite a few starters. That is you cashing tickets. There you go. Last Saturday, Tom, speaking of which, 10-1 to the under preseason game.
Is that right?
10-1 to the under on Saturday.
Okay.
What does this Saturday hold? Bunch of football games: Buffalo, Chicago, New York, Green Bay, Atlanta, Miami, Baltimore, Carolina, Detroit, Pittsburgh, Tennessee, Tampa, Houston, Dallas, Indianapolis, Minnesota, Vegas, and Los Angeles, meaning the Rams, and Denver and Seattle. Saturday slate. It is bountiful. We're gonna see all unders again.
I would lean under in the Tampa Tennessee game, given that Bruce Arians said they're not going to play a lot of their starters on offense. At least if they do on defense, the Bucs, then you would think that that's going to be another sloppy, low-scoring game.
Yeah, just something to watch if you're trying. People say all the time, like, "What are we doing here, Cameron? You're talking to me about preseason football?" I am. I'm talking to you about ways to win money.
That's what you're talking about,
Yeah,
not preseason football.
No, I'm not talking about the position battles taking place in Detroit in that Pittsburgh game. I'm talking about what are the trends and why. And again, the answer to that is if you've got a quarterback battle, you get more reps with meaningful starters on the field for longer because both quarterbacks have to be given a fair shot. That's how it happens. So any place you can identify where that's happening, you don't want to take those teams typically. And right now, should be noted that last Saturday was just 10-1 to the under. We'll keep watching. Keep watching. Was it? Oh, my goodness.
Alex contributes to the program.
Does he ever, Alex? Does he ever? Good Noles. Tom, come by the focal point and let me set you up with smudge-free lenses. You know what's funny about that is I, too, think about this, Alex. His lenses are an atrocity.
They are.
It's an embarrassment to lenses everywhere.
They are indeed.
They're smudged and scratched and brutalized.
These lenses, I got this particular pair of glasses
a long time ago.
Yes, just before the spring game in which Jameis Winston hit a walk-on over LaMarcus Joyner.
Touchdown!
So these things are pushing 9 years old almost now.
And they look it.
They do.
It's a wonder you see out of those things. Your eyes have been forever scarred. They'll be rehabilitated with new lenses.
Well done, Alex. You got a free live read out of it, but I'll be by. You can bank on it.
I may be by too, Alex.
Oh, you're good with your contacts.
I'm
You're
tired
fine.
of my contacts.
You're
Some days
fine.
I want to work with the glasses.
You
angle.
abandoned the show logo. You abandoned it. We should brush.
I didn't no.
We should brush the glasses out of the logo.
When I'm golfing and or exercising, glasses are a pain in the ass. You would concur. They are. You get all sweaty, and so there are times that I don't want them on. We got to go to break. Way to go, Alex. Good job. I'm supposed to post you, I think. There you go. Hour number 2, fourth. Come stay with.
Of evacuations picked up some overnight, but the Taliban and complex U.S. visa requirements are making it hard for many to reach Kabul's airport. Meanwhile, former Secretary of State Mike Pompeo says the crisis in Afghanistan comes after the Biden administration failed to project strength to the Taliban.
Pompeo says former President Trump was confronted several times with the Taliban breaking agreements.
We imposed
real costs on them. We made clear that the costs that we were imposing on them were connected to their violation of the agreement, right? This is how you execute a deterrence model.
Pompeo says the Taliban saw a very different response as President Biden orchestrated the final pullout of U.S. forces.
They withdrew under pressure instead of crushing them in response to pressure.
Thousands of U.S. citizens remain trapped in Taliban-controlled Afghanistan. Their prospects for evacuation remain unclear. Bob Agnew reporting.
Also at townhall.com, dry and windy weather dogging firefighters' efforts to contain destructive fires that are devouring the bone-dry forest of drought-stricken Northern California. An estimated 11,000 firefighters on the lines of more than a dozen large wildfires. CAL FIRE spokesman Keith Wade says there is hope for progress against the Calder fire in the coming days.
The hope is with the additional resources and personnel on scene, we can really start to build that box around this fire and start the containment. We're hoping over the next several days, you're going to start seeing that containment percentage increase as firefighters are doing a great job out there. And we start to get this fire under control.
But the monstrous Dixie Fire in the northern Sierra Nevada and southern Cascades is now ballooned to about 1,000 square miles. On Wall Street, stocks remain higher. The Dow is up 205 points and the NASDAQ 144 points higher. More at townhall.com.
Hey, I'm Andy. If you don't know me, it's probably because I'm not famous. But I did start a men's grooming company called Harry's. The idea for Harry's came out of a frustrating experience I had buying razor blades. Most brands were overpriced, overdesigned, and out of touch. At Harry's, our approach is simple. Here's our secret. We make sharp, durable blades and sell them at honest prices for as low as $2 each. We care about quality so much that we do some crazy things, like buy a world-class German blade factory. Obsessing over every detail means we're confident in offering a 100% quality guarantee. Millions of guys have already made the switch to Harry's, so thank you if you're one of them. And if you're not, we hope you give us a try with this special offer. Get a Harry's starter set with a 5-blade razor, weighted handle, shave gel, and a travel cover. All for just $3 plus free shipping. Just go to harrys.com and enter 3388 at checkout. That's harrys.com, code 3388. Enjoy.
Have you ever finished a painting project at your home or business and thought to yourself, wow, that was fun. I really like how sore my arms and hands are. And those sloppy edges and corners, I'll get used to it. Not a chance. So before you get all your brushes and rollers and buckets and blankets, contact B&B Painting of Tallahassee. Interior painting, exterior, commercial, whatever you need painted, B&B Painting of Tallahassee is your first choice. Get a fast, friendly, and free quote today with a quick visit to bnbpaintingtallahassee.com. That's B&B Painting Tallahassee.com.
These recruiting updates are nothing but fluff.
Are you wasting your time again on free blogs and social media to get the scoop on FSU recruiting?
Yeah, it's all bait and switch. You're on Warchant.com. What's really going on with FSU recruiting?
Could be another top 5 class, but for the real scoop, you'll need to get your own Warchant subscription.
What's it cost?
Free. There's a 30-day trial offer. Just sign up and you'll get full access through signing day. And nobody has more accurate and timely information than Warchant.com.
You know I like free. Sign me up. Warchant.com, your ultimate Seminole source.
Broadcasting live from Florida's capital city, this is the Jeff Cameron Show, brought to you by Orange Theory Fitness on Real Talk 93.3. Now, stop what you're doing and listen closely. It's time for the Jeff Cameron Show in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Program. You want to find me on Twitter? It's at J Cameron Show. Thanks for that. Yeah, right off the bat, let's answer a question. Ryan wants to know Tallahassee game day this season. You're damn skippy.
That is accurate. And the first edition is going to be Sunday, September the 5th at 4 p.m. 4 p.m.
Dun, 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 dun.
You can catch it on Warchant TV as always, and right here on these airwaves, Real Talk 93.3. we already have a sponsor on the books, and that is the group at Zaxby's. Zaxby's will be bringing you Tallahassee Game Day this year, among others. We'll tell you about them all as we get closer
Come on
to kickoff.
board and pay huge sums of money and get part and be part of a celebration. It's a celebration every Saturday. It's a celebration when you listen to Scuttlebucks. It's a celebration when you get to hear the Jeff Cameron Show and Wake Up Warchant and all of the properties that we're associated with.
And a bellying up in the near future. We have not forgotten.
We have not. Jeff Vegas is on to John Harbaugh. Ravens are laying 3 on the road. I'm doing a money line parlay of the Ravens and Raiders. Cash New England last night, caring deeply for that ass. Preston, that is well done out of you, sir. You're paying attention is what you're doing. You're paying attention. It matters.
That's all we ask.
Pay attention. Good practice today, less spirited than the one before it, but some great questions and answers afterwards from Mike Norvell that we addressed in the first hour. And a lot of it centered around, again, I think the most uplifting two items of the day were him noting that he feels confident they'll get to the 85% threshold for vaccination rate before the Notre Dame game. That's huge news and a relief. And then secondarily, I think talking at length about those freshmen got me excited. And I wanted to further expand on what I was talking about with that. You know, I've had very modest goals for this team this year. Personally, I've kind of looked at this as a year one situation, not a year two. I feel like this is the first real year that this coaching staff has had with the team. And for them not having a spring last year and having to revamp this lineup and run some kids out of that locker room to get the culture right means that, you take a step back before you take a step forward. Now, this year will be a step forward. Where the disagreement tends to land for the fans and the overly optimistic group is that they think that step forward might entail 7 or 8 wins. I think that step forward might entail 5 wins, but still be a step forward. I think how you play certainly matters, how you look in games in which you lose. Are you able to beat the teams that, let's say, have equal talent to you? Can you out-scheme them, out-coach them, outplay them? But there are a lot of games against teams that you are going to be a significant underdog in.
Yeah, I think what I can say, having seen between spring camp and fall camp, maybe a couple handfuls worth of practices, they get better. This team gets better over time, and they don't make a lot of the same mistakes. Now, Mike Norvell addressed it today in some of the other audio we didn't play, a question about penalties and timeliness of penalties, and he answered that question. So since he did, I guess I'm allowed to talk about it. There were a couple of penalties in a key situation late in practice that you would not want to see. Pre-snap stuff that just, if you're trying to convert in a big situation, you don't need nonsense penalties. But outside of that, it's a tightly run practice. You don't see a lot of extraneous stuff with players pouting or walking off or having to be consoled. It looks like every time you go out there, it looks like they are improving. And I don't know what that goal is to or what that race is to in terms of the win total like you're talking about. Is it going to be in the 5 range? Is it going to be in the 7 or 8 range? I don't know. But what I can say from just looking at it with my own eyes, way back in the spring to now, you see improvement. And you know what? It sucks that that's novel, but it's the truth.
Well, it's important. To me, I'm not going to get caught up in how we got here. It's been well documented. We've all got an opinion on that. The mistakes, the missteps, the problems, some of it being unlucky, COVID, that doesn't do you any good. The bottom line is having an honest assessment of where you're at and what can you do to get better. What do you have to do? What are the steps that need to be taken in order for this thing to get turned around? And I'm all in on that. I'm all in on the process. I sound like Jimbo and every other modern coach. I really do. I mean, I'm here for it. I'm here to document it and talk about it. If there are mistakes made, in our opinion, from the coaching staff or players, we'll call it out. We'll say it for what it is. But I also don't have this pie-in-the-sky notion that just because I'd like this team to be a lot better, that they will. And I'm not saying everybody who's optimistic is that way either. You might be right. I could be wrong. I'm just saying from what I've seen, I feel like they've got a long ways to go to get to be a team that could win 8 games or 9 games. I think this is a really difficult schedule, period. I think that this team is maybe not equipped to handle this difficulty this first year, if you will. Again, if I'm looking at it as a first year in reality for this staff, it's a lot to ask. They're going to be underdogs in a lot of games. And so Can you handle it? I also think that some of the problems lie in the way that the schedule lays out. For example, Boston College is a team you'd like to believe you could beat. It's a road game, but that game is sandwiched between Miami and Florida. That's problematic. It really is. In late November on the road in BC for a team that looked pretty good last year, I might add, is problematic. So I just want to see real evidence every day that things are moving towards a better place. Some of that's on the field, but some of that's off the field. Some of that is in recruiting, and Mike is hitting a home run right now in getting verbal commitments in recruiting. We've addressed a dire need at offensive line. Right now you have 6 yeses. They're probably going to get more than that. Now, maybe not all of those guys come at that point, but you still are throwing numbers at the problem. And those are quality players that have said yes. So that's a good sign that you recognize weakness, you're recruiting to get over it, and you've gotten yeses. Now, on that same front, there's a lot of work to be done at linebacker. I think that's an area that are going to be victimized this year. I don't think there's a lot of talent at linebacker. In fact, I know there's not a lot of talent at linebacker. And I think that in the modern game, with teams spread you out, they look to isolate your linebackers in coverage. I'm not real sure we have a lot of guys that are any good in coverage. So I worry about that. There's not a depth of talent at that position. So let's see what they do in recruiting there, because for as well as they've done with the offensive line, I'm not seeing great numbers at linebacker. So that's got to get turned around.
Yeah, you can't suffer any injuries there. And, I don't think it should be a surprise that Kalen DeLoach has been somebody who's emerged, because in the spring on the way out towards the end of camp, he was a name that Adam Fuller was bringing up often. I can remember playing the audio in that particular comment when we were at the other place of employment. And when you, at least in my own eyes, right, we got to couch it these ways with what we see in practice. But from what I'm seeing, there's a drop-off between the first team and the second team. And the names that Mike has brought up recently about those guys who are in the mix, who are getting more reps with the starters at linebacker. You remember the audio from the scrimmage.
Well, Lundy looked really good. Yeah.
DeLoach, Gaynor, and Steven Dix are absolutely a part of the fold. Those 4 are going to be the main guys that you're rotating in and out. But, I've seen leaps and bounds when it comes to where are you when you're supposed to be somewhere. Are you there? Kalen DeLoach is where he's supposed to be. DJ Lundy flies to the ball. He gets to the perimeter as fast as anybody that we have. And at that size, that's really encouraging.
It's stunning because he's 250 plus pounds. That's shocking.
But the question is, and we can talk more about this in the weeks to come when we talk about Notre Dame and what they want to do offensively and what Jack Cohn likes to do.
Check down.
But as they isolate the matchups that they're looking for, all right, we got to see it in coverage. Can you do it backpedaling? Can you do it at the depth of your drops that you're supposed to get to? Getting downhill and finding a way into the pile, I think we've got at least a few guys that we like there. And DeLoach and Lundy have been coming on really strong in the last couple of weeks in that regard. But it will be interesting to see week to week. If they figure us out and they say the middle of the field is open for business, what answer do we have, if any answer?
Well, the problem sometimes can very well be that they're going to do that, but you do not have an answer. And so now you have to protect yourself through scheme. It'll be interesting to see what they do to try to combat it. I really think it's a shame that Emmett Rice isn't ready yet. He would start and be good and reliable. He's a guy that knows how to diagnose. And I think that's lacking.
So, calling stuff out is going to be very important for this group as well.
So that is something you worry a little bit about. But at the same time, we certainly, the coaches, they've got eyes. They're watching these practices. They understand every team has areas of weakness, and then you have to scheme towards your strengths and away from weaknesses and cover them up as best you can. Some things are going to get exposed. There's just no way around it.
Well, I can go into it a little bit. Just watching a lot of Jack Cohn highlights last night. And again, they're highlight reels. Highlight reels.
You were bored to tears.
No, I was not bored to tears. It's time.
Bored to tears.
No, here's what it is.
I'm saying watching his highlights is boring. Well, okay. He stinks.
No, there's a lot of red tape stuff that goes on behind the scenes, especially as we're building this new endeavor that we have, and we're thrilled to be a part of the Warchant family and right here on these airways, 93.3. There's a lot of stuff like that goes on. And so I just said to myself, can I watch some football? Can I go tune into some football? Let's go get some scouting done.
Could have watched the Patriots making you money. 35-0 over Philadelphia is what you could have done.
That's not football. It's pay window. That's what that is.
Uh-huh.
So I wanted to see the Notre Dame, Lee Sterling. There's an 11-minute clip on YouTube of Jack Cohn's spring game that you can look at. I looked at that. The 2019 season when he led Wisconsin, helped lead them to the Rose Bowl. I looked at all that stuff. He doesn't like the middle of the field, sir. He does not like to throw it over the middle of the field unless it's a scripted play, first 15, or it's a timing route, like a quick slant. But he loves himself the outside of the numbers, at the numbers or outside. He'll throw the fly. He'll throw the deep outs. He'll throw the comebacks. Again, timing principles. He's an on-schedule quarterback. He does not like the middle of the field. So a very early scouting report on this game would be weakness against weakness. Cohn does not like to look between the hash marks. We don't like to defend between the hash marks.
I think we like to. We just don't know how.
Well, we would like them to,
yeah.
but I don't know that we like to. I don't know. And we'll find out if these linebackers that have emerged the last couple of weeks can do it. But that will be one of the key places when you define, did we succeed against Notre Dame? Hold them to a point total that's reasonable enough that we can win the game. How did we defend the middle of the field, and how did Jack Cohn attack the middle of the field? That's what I'm looking for.
Well, I laugh because you took the time to do that, and that's a responsible thing to do, and I'm proud of you for doing that. But watching his highlights gets boring in a hurry. He is not a dynamic quarterback. Doesn't mean he can't be an efficient quarterback, but he is not a dynamic quarterback. Right. That is for sure, thankfully.
You've got to honor the zone read. He's quick enough. He's not quick laterally, but he's got enough straight ahead speed that you have to honor that. That's one part of his game, but everything else is about being on schedule.
Hey, when we're talking about freshmen and how many of those guys are going to be asked to play, and primarily when we do that, a lot of times we're talking about these receivers, and that's because of the outstanding play of Malik McClain and how he's made an impact. But Shaheem Brown is a playmaker on the other side of the ball and a big corner. I think that you could see him, or a big safety, excuse me, you could see him. I don't know. He may be an answer somewhere along the way because that kid's a player.
Well, whether it's an answer this year on defense, special teams, whatever it is, I think there's a good chance that they're going to find a way to get him on the field. He might be among those 6 that Mike Norvell was talking about. And next Tuesday for headlines, he's one of Ira's guys. So if you bring him up and you need Ira to perk up in a segment and smile.
No, I perk up when I watch him. He's a player. He's a player, man.
The other guy that was observed today, I believe we had footage of it in the first 3 periods, but Miko Dotson in full pads, that was good to see.
Yeah.
They like him.
Yeah, well, he was having a good camp, then kind of a setback, we think. I don't know. We missed a little time, but he's back and doing well, so that's good.
To be in the mix with the defensive backs, again, we can't talk depth chart, but he's in the mix, and it's good to see that he's ready to go for full contact.
Yeah, but we can see the guys are getting reps and the guys are out there.
Absolutely.
This is just, you're talking about player played well today, guy didn't play well today. My opinion, feels like he showed up today, whatever that might be. And you see him a lot and he's making plays, which is exciting. I don't think there's anything to be worried about with that. If you're watching us on YouTube TV, thank you. Please do us a favor and remember to hit the thumbs up and subscribe buttons to Warchant TV. Likes on our videos spread the word to other Noles and people who just like really good radio. That's a thing that I would say time and again, make sure you do. It helps us immensely. Hit the bell after subscribing to get notified anytime we go live or offer up more of our great content from warchant.com. It's Jeff Cameron Show, 93.3 Real Talk Radio.
Hey, small business owner, love those hats you wear. CEO, CFO, chief cook, and bottle washer. But when it comes to marketing, you should really try Valpak on for size. We're your local marketing experts and lead Gen A team. Valpak's legendary blue envelope and red hot digital strategies connect you to thousands of local customers, online, on their device, and in their mailbox with real-time performance dashboards. Grow your business the smart way. We tip our hat to local businesses everywhere. Get started today at valpak.com/local.
When you need a plumber quick, how long is an acceptable time to have to wait?
Yeah, hey, it's the Millers again. Just calling you about our little plumbing problem.
2 hours?
Hey, we were hoping you get here soon because the water is getting really bad. I mean, please hurry.
4 hours?
I know you said you were on your way, but, honey, tell the kids to drink water.
8 hours?
Don't worry about us. We're fine.
At M&L Plumbing, you'll never have to wait long for quality, dependable service, right when you need it. At M&L Plumbing, we listen to our customers, and our qualified technicians aim to achieve 100% customer satisfaction. So the next time you need plumbing work or repairs, think of the name M&L Plumbing, your local plumbing experts, commercial or residential. Give us a call, 850-575-9393, or visit us online at mandlplumbing.com. M&L Plumbing, for all of your plumbing needs.
In 1945, Jack Whitten started a glass company in Tallahassee. Now, over 70 years and 3 generations later, it's still working every day, doing just as Jack wanted, giving his customers real solutions for replacing window glass, providing custom-cut mirrors, and supplying superior bath and shower enclosures. Local building contractors know Whitten Glass takes care of Tallahassee business. They prefer Whitten because of their precision and mastery of eye-catching storefront glass and countertop glass. It's a fact. When you choose Whitten Glass, you're working with real glass people who will take care of you to your complete satisfaction. It's what Jack Whitten wanted, and it's been the Whitten way of doing business for over 70 years. Whitten Glass, Tallahassee's first family in glass since 1945. Call Whitten Glass today or visit them online, 850-222-5781 or whittenglass.com.
When the forgotten poor are in need of healing, they wait for a ship unlike any other. Mercy Ships, a floating hospital staffed by volunteers, heroes of mercy who donate their time to save lives.
Every human has the right to have a place at the table of the human race.
If you could just see the smiles that you get when lives have been changed, then it would make it all worth it.
To learn more about Heroes of Mercy, go to mercyships.org.
You went online to switch your car insurance to Progressive so you could save money, but then you saw a friend request from an old summer camp buddy. And now here you are, clicking through photos of his kickball team from 2011. Oh, looks like they won the championship that year. Then he moved to Tulsa. Oh, a new tattoo. Yes, they said it was easy to save hundreds on car insurance with Progressive, but they forgot about the rest of the internet. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. National average savings by new customer surveyed who saved in 2019.
We all want more energy, more strength, more results. Well, welcome to Orange Theory Fitness as you take a step towards feeling more alive today. Backed by science, Orange Theory's heart rate monitored workout is scientifically designed to keep heart rates in a target zone, spiking metabolism and increasing energy. Orange Theory Fitness is a one-of-a-kind group personal training workout resulting in more energy, visible toning, and extra calorie burn for up to 36 hours. Experience a more vibrant life today with Orange Theory Fitness. To find out more, go to orangetheoryfitness.com.
The Jeff Cameron Show, brought to you by Orange Theory Fitness. 2 Tallahassee locations, Midtown on Thomasville Road and Northside in the Village Common Shopping Center. Online at orangetheoryfitness.com.
Really immediately here. I want to make sure everybody gets this audio. It's too good. Here you go. It's good. I saw this headline. I couldn't resist. Over 80 people paid $12,500 apiece to go to Duke's Coach K Academy. Now, as you read this story, it gets better and better. Dozens of people who paid 5 figures to attend Duke's annual fantasy basketball camp with Coach K were exposed to bacteria that causes Legionnaire's disease. Duke said in a statement Thursday night that 84 people who attended the camp were being treated for illnesses after being exposed to Legionella bacteria. The school said that the attendees have reported muscle fatigue, nausea, respiratory distress, and other flu-like symptoms. The Coach K Academy is held August 11th through the 15th. It's an adult camp that these people pay $12,500 to be a part of. It's a 5-day affair hosted by legendary Duke's men's basketball coach Krzyzewski. They go for opening day tryouts, quote unquote, to Sunday's championship tournament. And during the camp, these guys get to play basketball games against one another in the famed Cameron Indoor Stadium in the hopes of advancing to the next round.
Hello, losers. It's me, your idol, gold medal winning, Final Four net cutting Coach K.
$12,500 a pop to get Legionella bacteria.
There may have been an issue with Legionnaire's disease. If you weren't losers before, you may be now.
Duke's infectious disease specialists have worked with the federal, state, and local public health officials to identify the exposure, which likely occurred in a training room in the Schwartz Butters building. All the individuals who were exposed to this bacteria have been identified.
You know, Mickey told me never go to the Schwartz Butters building. She doesn't, it's not clean. The bathrooms are not clean.
They've been identified by the Duke physicians. They're working the fantasy camp. Legionnaire's disease is a type of pneumonia, if you must know, caused by the Legionella bacteria. It grows in warm water. The disease can be treated with antibiotics and isn't contagious. The bacteria does not spread from person to person. So that means separately.
So I don't have it. I don't have it. You do, because you had to go to the Schwartz Butters bathrooms.
84 separate people.
I have my own bathroom.
Individually picked up the Legionella bacteria there at the Schwartz Butters in the buildup towards fantasy basketball camp that they paid $12,500 to be a part of.
When I use my own bathroom and I go number one, my gold medals are on the wall, and I just I jingle them while I'm using my own private bathroom, not the Schwartz Butters bathroom.
I just laugh. I can't stop laughing thinking about these guys cutting a check. Coach K is just netting money left and right for these losers to roll on in there and pretend like they play basketball for Duke. They're in their 40s and 50s.
I should have charged you $40,000.
Visions of
you would have paid it.
Playing with Leitner and Grant Hill. You know, they just picture it in their mind in slow motion.
Right. It's day one. He's like, here we go. All right, guys, we're going to find winners today. It's time for your tryouts with me, Coach K.
Oh, there's nowhere to pivot from this.
John Shire will be here in just a moment.
Man, that's got to suck. You pay that much money and you're just puking the entire time you're at this camp at Duke, thanks to the Schwartz Butters.
Mickey told me. She was right again.
Oh, that's good. It's the Jeff Cameron Show, 93.3 Real Talk Radio and Warchant TV.
Your local news now.
The Georgia Bureau of Investigation has arrested Early County Coroner Todd Hunter on charges of felony violation of oath of office and misdemeanor sexual battery. 51-year-old Hunter was transported to the Early County Jail, where he was subsequently released on bond. The Early County Sheriff's Office asked the GBI to investigate allegations that Hunter sexually assaulted a person at his home. Authorities say, based on information they learned through their investigation, it is believed there are other victims. The investigation remains active and ongoing. Construction crews have broken ground at the site of Tallahassee's Amazon Fulfillment Center. Thursday, several excavators and dump trucks were working at the property near Mahan Drive and I-10. Leon County revealed Amazon was the developer behind Project Mango on August 11th. The county says work to build the 630,000 square foot retail fulfillment center will create more than 2,000 construction jobs. When it opens, the center is set to hire more than 1,000 full-time employees. This is Rachel Lene with your Real Talk 93.3 local news update, brought to you by Macklemore Systems, Tallahassee's go-to Mac store. Check them out online at MacklemoreSystems.com.
This is meteorologist Paul Trombley with your Real Talk 93.3 weather update. Sunshine mixed with clouds at times this afternoon with a chance for isolated storms. Highs level off around 94. Winds out the west, 5 to 10 miles per hour. Chance for scattered storms again tonight. Lows dip down to about 75. Partly cloudy skies. Scattered thunderstorms likely tomorrow. Highs level off around 90. A blend of clouds and sun. This report is brought to you by the Lawn Johns. For all your landscaping and lawn care needs, visit thelawnjohns.com. Right now, 93.
This is Dr. James Ryan Finn from Finn Chiropractic. The number one myth about chiropractic is you don't have to take care of your spine until it hurts. Most patients come in with symptoms, neck pain, back pain, headaches. Those are not the cause of your problem. That's the result of your problem. So unmask the cause of your problem at Finn Chiropractic. through the Phenomenal Health Examination. So if you're a loved one or having neck pain, back pain, or headaches, don't mask the symptom, unmask the cause at Finn Chiropractic, because your chiropractor loves you and there's nothing you can do about it.
We all want more energy, more strength, more results. Well, welcome to Orange Theory Fitness as you take a step towards feeling more alive today. Backed by science, Orange Theory's heart rate monitored workout is scientifically designed to keep heart rates in a target zone, spiking metabolism and increasing energy. Orange Theory Fitness is a one-of-a-kind group personal training workout resulting in more energy, visible toning, and extra calorie burn for up to 36 hours. Experience a more vibrant life today with Orange Theory Fitness. To find out more, go to orangetheoryfitness.com.
Greg Tish.
Good morning, Bert. Thank you so much for joining us, my friend.
It's been, I think, 22 years, 24 years. I've been dying to come back. And I said to myself, I'm not going back to Tallahassee until I have a show there. I'm not going to go back and just party. I'll feel like a loser, you know? It's a world to me to come back to that city and be doing, especially the place I'm doing, you know?
Yeah, because the last time you were in the Civic Center, people didn't hear your name. This time, we're all going to hear your name, and we are very, very proud of you.
Pro.
The Greg Tish Show, Monday through Friday, 6 to 9 a.m., only on Real Talk 93.3.
The Jeff Cameron Show is a production of the Warchant.com Multimedia Network. Check out Warchant.com today for the latest news inside Florida State athletics. That's Warchant.com. Now, back to Jeff on Real Talk 93.3.
It's going to be good. You were with me when I did this. I am hoping to maybe attend the Florida State Wake game. And I see here on the boards that it's being talked about. Rob brings up the fact that early signing day era means kids' minds are made up by Halloween. The softer first half schedule means a chance to secure a good class if you can get to 5-2, maybe 4-3 if you look cohesive and organized. And others chimed in to talk about that being the fulcrum game, indeed pivotal. And I, every time I look at the schedule, every day that we do this thing, and I look at that schedule, I think, man, that's the one. It's not Notre Dame. Notre Dame, I'm excited because it's the first, and we're all going to be in that stadium, and it's going to be emotional. You'll have pregame ceremony and the electricity in the air and the salute to Coach Bowden and all that stuff. And it's a big time, prime time game, so people will be excited. But that's not the one, man. That's fun. And maybe we surprise Notre Dame. I do like that if you got to play them, playing them early gives you the best chance to beat them because they have so much roster turnover from a year ago, including at a very important position like quarterback.
Well, and it's also a very simple question that's asked for a lot of games, and it's a good question to ask, which is who's the pressure on? Pressure's on Notre Dame.
Oh, sure.
There's no pressure on us for that game. Week 3 against Wake Forest, there's quite a bit of pressure as to being able to deliver on the promise of the quest for 6-6.
Yeah, no doubt. So like looking at that game, okay, 7:30 ABC, September the 5th. Then skip ahead to the lightly attended Jacksonville State game in week 2.
At least that's an 8 p.m. kick. People can tailgate all day, and then when it comes to the heat factor, it'll be minimal for the game itself.
Yeah.
We had a tendency, though, to play a lot of those games around 3:30, 4 o'clock. Yeah. So this is much better.
All right. Then it's Wake on the road in Winston-Salem. And the reason that we keep circling that game is if you can win it, you're likely to be 2-1. And you come home for 2 games that are imminently winnable, Louisville and Syracuse. And all of the sudden, you have the potential to have amassed 4 wins. And that's important because as documented, once you hit that UNC week in October, there is probably only one more game in which you're going to be favored, and that's against UMass after the bye week. So you got to get to 4 wins in September. Well, first week of October.
Yeah, early October.
Yeah, you got to get to 4 wins there, and then hope like hell you can find 2 of the remaining games, and here they are. North Carolina, I don't think so. UMass, yes. Now we're to 5. Can we win 1 more game and get bowl eligible? The games will be against Clemson. No. NC State at home. Maybe. Miami at home. Outside shot. Boston College on the road. probably your best opportunity, and then Florida in Gainesville. That is a really, really quite brutal stretch. When you think about Clemson, NC State, Miami, BC, Florida, that's a tough stretch for anybody. This is not a particularly deep team, so you wonder how healthy we'll be. It is not an explosive team, so your chance at riding a few big plays, explosive, couple 80-yard touchdown type plays to maybe carry the day and pull an upset doesn't seem likely. I mean, I think they're going to have to be somewhat methodical, so that means everything is difficult.
Yeah, I don't think there's anybody new that's emerged in camp so far that could be considered a home run threat. Toafili continues to be a player that when the ball's in his hands and you block it up correctly, who knows? He gets to that second level, maybe he makes a guy miss and he can pull away. I think the rest of it, Parchment might be that guy on the perimeter, but I think the rest of it, when you're looking for big plays, explosive plays, whatever the metric is, I feel like that changes every year too, between like 16 or more yards or 18 or more yards. But whatever your metric is, I think it has to be generated by the offense. The jab, jab, jab of screen passes and flares and dive and all that stuff, followed by
screen pass.
We caught your eyes in the backfield. Here's a seam right over your head.
Yeah.
I think that's where it's going to have to come from is organically through the flow of the offense. But that also is a house of cards because you can't have a penalty to set you back and down a distance leverage.
Yeah, behind the chains one time, and that's the end of your drive. You're punting.
Right. MAs, as Kenny Dillingham likes to say a lot, and it drives you crazy, missed assignments. Like anytime you have one of those setbacks, that really throws you off. But I think that's where this offense is good. There are a couple of guys who can get it for you by themselves, not many, but then it's going to have to be through the game plan that you generate explosive plays.
Marshall wants to know, I know you guys have a bunch of stuff going on, just wondering if there were plans for a Scuttlebucks return this year. And yes, there are. There are plans.
There are. They're not firm. There needs to be a conclusion to those talks, but yeah.
Well, let's get on that. I know that.
All right. You go ahead.
Well, you're the guy. You're the guy with them. You're our point man with them.
I'm everybody's point man right now.
You are. But that particular assignment could see you receive money.
That's correct.
Right? So it's worth our time.
But it tells you, it's like the Coach K, right? 12-5. You're going to commit 12-5. I'll be there. So we've got to make sure that we get the people in line.
The commitment is necessary.
The point man will be the point man for the right people, and then we're going to make sure it all
we'll
works.
go from there. Really want to follow up on this because we talked about it yesterday, and there's already been a question about it today. The Alliance will go beyond scheduling and television inventory. Those specifics are scarce for the Big Ten, ACC, and Pac-12 kumbaya. The alliance between the Big Ten, ACC, and Pac-12 to combat SEC expansion could soon, quote unquote, be announced.
Okay.
All right, then.
So it means they become a super conference? Like, who's saying that the implications could be more than just a schedule alliance? That because if it's Thamel, then you know what? I might have an extra drink at happy hour today.
It is reported by The Athletic.
Okay.
So they don't suck.
They don't.
And this is very, very encouraging. I'm with you on this. For some reason, this computer is loading very slowly, and I'm growing frustrated because I'm trying to get more.
It's got AOL 3.0. It's no big deal.
Nicole Auerbach is reporting from The Athletic that the Big Ten, Pac-12, ACC alliance expected to make formal announcements about their alignment soon, perhaps as early as next week, according to multiple sources. It's not yet clear how specific the announcement will be because there are so many details in which to iron out, although administrators in all three leagues have stressed in recent conversations that issues of governance can and should be front and center. Schools within the three conferences believe they are like-minded in their approach, that they want to continue to prioritize broad-based sports offerings, and that the academic profile of their institutions do matter, as does graduating athletes. For example, Big Ten schools sponsor an average of 24.8 sports per campus, with the ACC at 23.8 and the Pac-12 at 22.9, not far behind. SEC schools only average 19. So this is a chance for us to not only align with other Power 5 conferences to become relevant and demand more money, it's also a chance to thumb our noses at the mouth breathers in the SEC And it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, if we can do that while getting an equal share, then I'm all on
Correct?
board. But if
yeah.
we can thumb our noses about our graduation rates and the Big Ten still makes the percentage that it
no,
does and the Pac-12
This
does.
is not meant to just to be snooty. We have to make the money. Once you make the money, then you can also be snooty.
Yeah, I don't care about any of that other stuff.
Oh, I do.
The first priority, the first priority is how much is our take home? Can we not be broke 10 years from now, especially relative to our competition in the state 2 hours to the east and south of us? Can we not be broke compared to Florida? Because if the answer is yes to that, then absolutely I care about graduation rates and all that stuff right after it. But you got to give me the first one.
We all know this has to be about the money. It starts there. They're not having this conversation so that they can hug and talk about academics. I mean, they're not.
Forgive me.
There's no way that they decided, hey, let's have a big meeting over coffee and talk about a history class that I rather enjoy.
I'm a believer on the surface in Jim Phillips, but I'm going to be jaded because of the meek nature of this conference in being able to consummate deals, negotiate deals.
They can't close.
They cannot close.
They cannot close. She has all but said, take me home, and they will not leave the institution, the bar, or the place. Let's go.
Let's see what else they have on the menu.
Anything else we want to eat here? How about another salad? No, it's time to go. There is hope within all three leagues that their commissioners will align to delay the implementation of an expanded college football playoff as well. Athletic directors in all three leagues have expressed concerns over the composition of the four-member working group that proposed the 12-team format, treated it as an inevitability without hearing from any representation of the ACC, the now soon-to-be defunct Big 12, the Pac-12, and the Big 10. One motivating factor for at least two of the conferences involved in these discussions is ESPN. If ESPN has exclusive rights to the 16-team SEC and also has the expanded playoff because it negotiates during its exclusive window pre-2026, the network then owns the sport. This is a cause for concern, dude.
Quote unquote?
No, I added that.
That would be amazing.
This is our concern, dude.
So that's our leverage in the ACC.
Mm-hmm.
It's that we give them numbers for votes, right, in the grand straw poll that is the future of college football. But then also it's the fear of the SEC that gives the ACC the leverage it needs. Because that's been the question. How do we get the money? You can't get it from ESPN just by saying, oh, West Virginia and Notre Dame are coming and joining our league. That's not going to do it. But the leverage for this particular alliance is fear. Fear of the SEC.
Well, to go get some damn money. That's what it is.
And they
to
want
renegotiate the deal.
And the proxy.
That's correct.
They want our votes.
Yes, this is an uncertain time in college sports. No one has a crystal ball to predict how this will turn out. But just as the SEC bolstered its standing with the addition of Oklahoma and Texas, the other conferences now realize there can be strength in numbers with the right bedfellows. So you contact others who care about money. They can say publicly, well, the academics matter too.
So we're going to be the Big Pac conference.
Man, I want this to work for a lot of reasons, primarily that Florida State then doesn't get left out from eating from the money trough, but also, man, anything that involves some sort of rotation where we're flying our ass out to California to take on Southern Cal one year and another year going up to Columbus to take on Ohio State and having those kinds of teams come here. Yes, please. Let's go.
Yeah, if you make that super conference happen for football and basketball, the sports that'll bring some money in, and then for the rest of the sports, you stick to your original conference regionality for your sports. So let's say indoor volleyball.
Yeah, but let's sprinkle in a baseball matchup at Stanford in the Sunken Diamond.
Sure, maybe
boom, I'm ready. Let's go.
You get like a trip a year to somewhere else.
Yeah, pick one. We're going to go to Cal Berkeley. Sounds good.
Ooh.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Yeah, I like it. I've been to that little stadium.
Sounds like a good scheduling
It's
job right
cute.
there.
I picked it right off the bat. I got us. We're going to Cal.
I have not forgotten what Mike Martin Jr. said last year in your preseason interview, which was
he wants the LSU game to be a reality in Pensacola
and the Biloxi trip to play Ole Miss. Come on. Where is that announcement?
To Biloxi.
I saw basketball announced yesterday. FSU basketball did their non-conference slate of games. Where is the baseball announcement about Biloxi? Please.
If we go cover that game, that's dangerous. We may not return. Biloxi can get
because of all the winning.
Oh, yeah, all the winning. And the no sleeping. to staying up and winning and celebrating college baseball at its finest. The Jeff Cameron Show, 93.3 Real Talk Radio and Warchant TV.
In 1945, Jack Whitten started a glass company in Tallahassee. Now, over 70 years and 3 generations later, it's still working every day, doing just as Jack wanted, giving his customers real solutions for replacing window glass, providing custom-cut mirrors, and supplying superior bath and shower enclosures. Local building contractors know Whitten Glass takes care of Tallahassee business. They prefer Whitten because of their precision and mastery of eye-catching storefront glass and countertop glass. It's a fact. When you choose Whitten Glass, you're working with real glass people who will take care of you to your complete satisfaction. It's what Jack Whitten wanted, and it's been the Whitten way of doing business for over 70 years. Whitten Glass, Tallahassee's first family in glass since 1945. Call Whitten Glass today or visit them online, 850-222-5781 or whittenglass.com.
Football season is back, and that means it's time for the 72nd annual Tallahassee Quarterback Club Kickoff Dinner featuring Florida State football head coach Mike Norvell. It all starts this Tuesday, August 24th at the University Center Club at Doak Campbell Stadium. Doors open at 5:30 p.m., and guests will enjoy live entertainment, great fellowship, an incredible dinner, and a chance to win tickets to the Champions Club for FSU's home opener versus Notre Dame. Tickets are limited, so buy yours now at TallahasseeQBClub.com.
If you're an attorney who struggles with the balance of managing your practice and practicing law, consider Lexicon as your #1 pick. From client intake to billing, and all that comes in between, Lexicon doesn't miss a thing. Our comprehensive solution combines best-in-class software and services to take care of your firm's most critical challenges, automating many of the tasks that take time out of your day. It's all about giving you more of your billable hours back. And who doesn't love more revenue? No more searching for practice management that works. Lexicon marks the spot. Visit lexiconservices.com to learn what Lexicon can do for you.
Have you wanted to speak a new language but thought it'd be too difficult or take too much time? Then try Babbel. In just 15 minutes a day, Babbel teaches you conversations that you will actually use. With 14 languages and lesson topics like travel, business, relationships, and more, you'll learn what matters most to you. Babbel. Language for life. Learn a new language with ease. Go to Babbel.com to try for free. That's BABBEL.com.
If you weren't the owner of Gordo's and all those wonderful restaurants, Eddie, what would you be doing?
You know, I think I'd want to be I don't know what I'd want to be, a boat captain or a cowboy.
You know how to use a lasso?
No.
You'd have to do that if you were a cowboy.
Yeah, but I've never even been on a horse. It's not my place to be on a horse.
I agree. And the horse thanks you. Gordo's, bringing the flavor and flair of Cuban food to Tallahassee since 1996.
The Cameron Show, brought to you by Orange Theory Fitness. 2 Tallahassee locations, Midtown on Thomasville Road and Northside in the Village Common Shopping Center. Online at orangetheoryfitness.com.
Up. I don't know what goes on these days with probabilities. They've changed everything about it. And from what I used to use, I know that doesn't concern you. I'm just complaining out loud. That's all I'm doing. But it's brought to you by our friends at North Florida Payroll Services, locally owned for nearly 15 years, offering payroll and HR services, including full online applicant, onboarding, and integration into payroll. Save your company money and headaches today. Head to northfloridapayroll.com.
It's time for, how you say, with the pitching, probables?
Game already underway between the Royals and the Cubs. Brad Keller, Zach Davies. Later tonight, Twins, Yankees, Charlie Barnes. I remember Charlie Barnes. Nestor Cortez Jr. Braves, Orioles, Max Fried, Keegan Aiken. Boom, boom. By the way, Keegan Aiken, perfectly aptly named Aiken, oh my Aiken ass. 0-7.
What?
You never heard that phrase?
No.
Oh my Aiken ass?
No.
Oh yeah. Keegan Aiken, aptly named because Oh My Aiken Ass is 0-7 with an 8.13.
Ooh.
They're still trotting him out there.
Oh, my.
Tigers, Blue Jays, Tyler Alexander, Robbie Ray.
Hey!
Robbie Ray! I'm still chuckling, picturing Tom wrapping his head around "Oh My Aiken Ass," the phrase. You never heard that phrase.
No. A radio show's an interesting time for the first one.
Yeah. It's not what you think it is.
Well, I mean,
know what you're thinking, but
what else did I have to go on?
It's not what you're thinking. I knew that's why I chuckled.
What is he doing?
Angels, Indians, Jaime Barea, and TBD. Rangers, Red Sox, Dane Dunning and Chris Sale. Hey now. White Sox, Rays, Lucas Giolito and Michael Wacha. Marlins, Reds, Elcier Hernandez. Great name. Sonny Gray. Mariners, Astros. You know it's Libations Friday when we get the gift from the baseball gods. Gucci. Lance McCullers goes for the Astros. Nationals, Brewers, TBD, and Brett Anderson. The Pirates, who never win, are at Busch Stadium, a place they never win at. Oh, my Aiken ass. Mitch Keller, 3-10 with a 6.86.
Ay.
That's the Mitch Keller that was counted upon to be the next great young arm in the Pirates rotation. 3-10 with a 6.86. That'll hurt your feelings. Miles Mikolas goes for the Cardinals.
Mikolas.
There it is.
Yes.
Dodgers, Rockies, Tyler Gilbert, Austin Gomber. Giants, A's, Alex Wood, James Krapilian. Mets, Dodgers. What happened last night?
The bullpen game for the Dodgers. We scored 1 run and lost.
Oh, boy. Carlos Carrasco going to start for you tonight. Got off to a good start, 0-1 with a 10-3-2. Thanks for the 10-3-2. Walker Buehler.
Trapper keeper.
Phillies, Padres, Matt Moore, Blake Snell. And that is a look at those that shall reside on the bump.
I just asked Matthew. Matt Moore is still pitching in the bigs?
Still pitching, yeah.
What?
And he's going to start at quarterback later on next week.
That's right. Well, now that's good.
That's your guy.
That's my guy.
That is your guy.
Yep.
Him and Colt McCoy, sorry ass.
He's the Mike McMahon of his time.
All right. We did well today, guys. Appreciate you. Cat 5 maintain at Snuggy Hill. For those of us on the road against Wake Forest, I probably will find myself saying those exact things.
Okay, so you would issue that?
I think maybe.
Right.
It's a big day. It's a big day. And if we're all gathering on Snuggy Hill and there are no professional requirements other than to cheer on the Noles in what comes down to the wire, it could be.
But you're not declaring it in this moment.
No, you don't have to hit the horn. You don't have to hit the siren. Not yet.
The Cat 5 siren is also doubled for the super chat as well, in case somebody really brings the noise.
Somebody brings it crazily. Somebody on a Friday is like, I'm going to give $100.
That was the angling for today.
I'm just saying, well, there's a little time left in the
general.
show. If somebody did that, you would have to hit the thing. I'm not saying they will, but you would have to.
Shameless.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, no.
Well,
what have we done?
It helps all the hardworking people behind the scenes. So, you gotta help our guys. A lot of guys out there working on our behalf. It's for them. Sunday night, New York and Cleveland, San Francisco, and the Chargers. We get a chance in that first quarter on Sunday Night Football to be able to watch Justin Herbert, who's really freaking good. You realize how many good young quarterbacks? What a time, man. What a time. I mean, a lot of really good young quarterbacks.
Yeah, it's fun because when we were, 5-6 years ago saying, will they ever retire? Will these guys ever go away? Brady, Manning, Breeze,
Right.
Big Ben, Phillip Rivers is like these guys, and Eli to a degree, right? Because every once in a while he'd show up and he'd say, these same characters. It's just nobody knew. Aaron Rodgers, of course. And finally, the handoff is happening. Mahomes, Justin Herbert. We'll see what this rookie class does.
Yeah, what Trevor Lawrence does. Obviously, Justin Fields in Chicago for the first time in a long time. They have a reason to be excited with the Bears. Yeah, absolutely. It's an interesting time because who knows? Does Mac Jones win the job in New England, for example? He could very well be a guy. You got Joe Burrow in Cincinnati, who looked good before he got hurt a year ago.
He declared himself back to complete normal. He's at full speed.
Yeah, Josh Allen in Buffalo, by the way. You can go on for days here. I mean, we'll see if Tua is any good and belongs in this conversation, but of course he's going to start for Miami. So a lot of guys. Lamar Jackson has been an MVP already in his young career. He's up and down, but he's been an MVP.
He's been an MVP,
yeah.
And then you've got us with the elder statesmen, the reigning Super Bowl champions, and probably 2-time Super Bowl champions when the season's over.
I don't know about all that, but yeah.
And then he's going to retire, and Aaron Rodgers is going to come down to Tampa, and we just keep on rolling. Y'all can have the young quarterbacks. We'll be the retirement community, the Super Bowl winning retirement community.
Old prima donna Aaron Rodgers, but I'd take it in a heartbeat.
Oh, me too.
Well, I mean, the hand talent is something to behold,
and
man.
We sing his tune anyway. You have a lot of control in Tampa Bay. So when TB12 retires and the alkalinity is at an all-time high, 8 rings, then it's AR12.
8 rings if he gets it. 7 already is absurd. I do wonder he loves Tampa. I would have never guessed that. At least he says that.
I think he tolerates Tampa.
Oh, well, I'm talking about the surrounding areas,
Yeah.
the road hard, put up wet, the pedestrians who are run over on the regular at an alarming rate.
Yeah. US 19.
Oh, my God. People love to run over people in Tampa. It's like a game. Death Race 2000.
It was an odd point of pride too when I was a kid.
Running over people in Tampa?
No. That my dad would brag about, like, of the 5 most dangerous intersections in the country, according to damages and pedestrian incidents.
Yeah, pedestrian incidents.
He's like US 19 and 580, US 19 Gulf to Bay, US 19 Sunset Point.
It's always.
We got 3 of them. Like, is that a good thing?
Yeah,
we have to use that intersection every day.
Well, and then here you were walking down the road in Tampa when you watched a guy in broad daylight run off the road and hit a statue and nearly die, and people had to go over to him and say, "Hey, man, you need to roll," because
I had a dude cost me with a laptop bag too, way back when I was at the AM dial. Yeah. Yeah. That's some incidents downtown, man.
Oh my goodness.
But that's Hillsborough. I grew up in Pinellas. See, both counties are just a mess. And then you throw in Pasco.
Pinellas County doesn't have the kind of hooliganism you're talking about. Not like that. You can walk downtown St. Pete. Now, when I was a kid, downtown St. Pete had problems, but no.
Largo and the beach.
Well,
Largo and the beach, man.
Well, Largo is famous, sure.
The beach people.
The fine folks of Largo are lacking. Yes. That's a trouble area.
It can get a little rough around Tarpon Springs too, because now you're getting into Newport Richie, which is Pasco.
Newport Richie. I knew you were going to go there.
Right.
We did. I know it's the end of the
Tough
show.
Spot.
It's loosey-goosey at the end. I have to tell you, one of my favorite moments in radio history is us talking to Lee Kemper during the Scuttlebucks, in which he just straight up starts naming counties in Tampa, and we're all
Carrollwood.
He's just ripping the people.
Lutz.
Lutz. And we're like, yes.
There's one that's I can't think of it off the top of my head.
He named everyone, and every time he did it, you and I had that like a visceral reaction because we've driven through and thought to ourselves, well, this is not where we want to stop, guys.
Brandon, Temple Terrace.
He's just insulting the people that he's begging to subscribe to his website is my favorite part, over and over again. Oh my goodness. All right, so we do get to play the music for the fine folks that are listening on the radio. For you on Warchant TV, thanks. Be good. Love you. Good work out of you, Matthew. Good work.